Hi, this is Team 6, and we are here to discuss the Unit 6 of the Horizon Report. I'm going to discuss the 2014 higher education, or I think we both are. Mine is the mid-range trends, driving challenges with higher education in 3 to 5 years. What I read was, and since this was a last year report, it still was very interesting, the rise of data-driven learning. And so what we're finding with all the blended learning, that the data is highly applicable to the students pacing themselves and learning at their own rate. That the dashboards that filter the students' learning can help them progress even faster. And so I know that data is important, but after reading this article, I was like, oh, okay, well, this all makes sense because it talks about the analytics and how important it is to analyze the students as they're going through the blended learning, and how there's so much more data that's available when students have their individual learning at their own pace. The other section was a shift from students as consumers to students as creators, and this was probably my favorite article because it throughout all the readings I've talked about how the trends are changing in libraries, how they're making new spaces for students to come together to collaborate. But in higher education, it's just, most of the learning has typically been the stand and deliver. Well, now, even with the maker spaces, that students are creators. They're making these collaborative working spaces where there's fabrication labs set up where there hasn't been that in the past, and that is really the trend that higher education is going towards, because with the fabrication labs, they have places like libraries that they've made a little space for them that have not just traditional craft tools, but digital equipment, 3D printers, laser cutters, microcontrollers, to where students are actually creating items and concepts and projects, and they're all self-directed, but they're still a collaborative learning. So it was a very interesting read about how there's this big shift in how students are learning collaboratively. I think that was it on mine.
Okay.
Yep. Uh-huh.
All right, my section was the 2014 Higher Education Edition. I read about the fast trends that are the challenges that are right now within 1 to 2 years.
Uh-huh.
The first was how common social media has become in education. It's just, all over, and it's made sharing so accessible and immediate. And as a science major myself, one of the points that I really liked that they had discussed about was that with the oversharing with the social media, whereas anyone can post anything, and it gets shared with a whole lot of people.
Right.
In the future, they don't know how this is going to play an effect on scientific research. Someone could have posted something that's not exactly true, but when it gets shared by so many people, when someone pulls on it and they see all these people have shared it, it may automatically assume that it's accurate.
Wow.
Because it's been so overshared.
Right.
And the other section was the integration of online, hybrid, and collaborative learning in schools. I really like this section because I find hybrid learning, I'm really interested in it because I want to try that next school year with flipped classroom, where I can, have more time in the classroom to do labs with my students. Lecture portion, out of the way. Online, they can go home and work on it and come back in, and we can work on that. And that's what it was talking about. It was in hybrid learning. Students have more freedom over their learning. And they can use up the time that they do have when they come up to the campus to collaborate with other students and work on a project or create something. So I really liked seeing that this is also currently going on in our colleges.
Is the hybrid learning like a flipped classroom? Is that what it is?
I think hybrid is like the college version of flipped classroom.
Okay.
Where it's, half online and half in class. And then it's up to the professors what they choose to do on each,
Okay. That's cool.
But I think it's just a college version of flipped classrooms.
Okay. Was there anything else?
That's it.
Okay, that wraps up our unit discussions. Thank you so much for watching.